Hi guys, welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the issue that has torn at the heart of Port Charles and left its citizens reeling, the tragic death of Natalia, and the shocking unraveling of Sidwell's criminal empire. In recent episodes, viewers have witnessed a stunning turn of events that combines heartbreak, vengeance, and the quest for justice. From Natalia's desperate final act to the explosive arrest of a powerful villain, and the brewing storm of revenge from a grieving son, this storyline will reshape alliances and ignite passions across the city. Here is the full, focused account of everything that transpired. Natalia's life had always been marked by hardship. From early trauma in her homeland to struggles for stability in Port Charles, she fought to build a life of dignity only to see it crumble under the weight of betrayal and exile. Her relationship with Sonny had been a tempestuous one, fueled by shared danger and fleeting moments of affection. For a time, Natalia found in Sonny a protector, a friend, even something near to romance. But alliances in Sonny's world are fragile, and betrayals are fatal. When she discovered evidence of Sonny's darker dealings and when he, in turn, perceived her potential as a liability, made a decision that would shatter Natalia's fragile hope. He ordered her to leave Port Charles forever. To watch that moment was to witness the final blow to Natalia's already battered spirit. Exiled from the only home she'd known, cut off from the community she'd joined, she felt abandoned and broken. For weeks, she wandered through Port Charles hotels and unlit back streets, overshadowed by the fear that the men she had once trusted could destroy everything she held dear. Behind closed doors, away from prying eyes, Natalia's despair deepened until it consumed her completely. In the build-up revealed in preview clips, Natalia is seen in her hotel room, curtains drawn, a single lamp casting a pale glow on her face. On the desk lie two bottles, one of strong liquor, the other containing a deadly poison. She records a final message on her phone, her voice trembling as she confesses her pain and delivers a heartfelt plea for forgiveness. "Sonny," she whispers, "I know you think I'm a threat, but I never wanted to hurt anyone. I only wanted a chance to live in peace." Then she drinks, first the poison, then the liquor to chase away her final fears. In that moment, Natalia chooses to end her life rather than face exile and loneliness. News of her disappearance reached Detective Chase Fairfield within hours. Concerned by her sudden silence and suspecting foul play, Chase drove to the hotel where Natalia had been staying. He knocked on her door, received no answer. After multiple unanswered calls and a growing sense of dread, he forced the lock, kicked the door open, and found her slumped in a chair by the desk, an empty glass still at her side. She was cold to the touch, a faint sheen of sweat on her brow, eyes closed in eternal repose. For Chase, who had known Natalia as a resilient survivor in countless other investigations, the sight of her lifeless body was a blow that left him momentarily stunned. He knelt beside her, checked for a pulse, found none, and realized she had taken her own life. Rallying the response team, Chase secured the room and called for backup. Paramedics arrived, confirmed Natalia's death, and carried her body away with solemn care. But before the door was sealed, Chase noticed something on the desk, a folded piece of stationery, a handwritten letter tucked beneath the lamp. He picked it up and read the first line: "If anything happens to me, you must know the truth about Sidwell." His heart pounded as he opened the letter fully. Realizing that Natalia had left behind more than a suicide note, Tesh had left the key to bringing down a criminal mastermind. In flowing script, Natalia recounted everything she knew about Sidwell's crimes: names of paid henchmen, bank account numbers for offshore transfers, photographs of weapons shipments, logs of meetings with underworld figures. She wrote of how Sidwell had manipulated her, threatened her, and used her position as his unwitting accomplice in trafficking operations. Each detail was corroborated by physical evidence she had hidden in a secured folder, documents stashed in her safe deposit box at the Port Charles Trust, photos stored on a hidden digital drive encrypted with a password she shared only with her closest friend Chase. The letter ended with a plea: "Please, Detective Fairfield, promise me you will see justice done. I cannot stay, but I can ensure he does not escape." Chase felt a cold fury rise within him. He had tracked drug rings and racketeers before, but never had he been handed such a perfectly documented case. With urgency, he radioed for forensic support, instructed patrol units to seal off the hotel floor, and personally transported Natalia's letter and evidence to Central Command. Within hours, prosecutors convened an emergency session, armed with the irrefutable proof Natalia had assembled. Warrants were issued for Sidwell's immediate arrest on charges ranging from conspiracy to commit murder, human trafficking, witness intimidation, and financial fraud on a massive scale. Sidwell, no longer the untouchable figure, was found by tactical teams in a luxury safe house on the outskirts of Port Charles. Surrounded by weapons and stacks of falsified documents, he was taken into custody without incident, though his calm demeanor in the face of the raid betrayed a mind already racing for escape routes. As officers read him his rights, news helicopters circled overhead, and Sidwell's empire built on secrecy and fear crumbled in a single day. The city exhaled, relieved that the shadow over Port Charles had at last been lifted, thanks to Natalia's ultimate sacrifice. Meanwhile, news of Natalia's death and Sidwell's arrest reached Sonny like a thunderbolt. He sat alone in his office at the docks, the echo of the city's horns and sirens muted by reminiscences of times past. Memories flooded him, Natalia's laughter over a glass of wine, her steely determination as she stood by him during a mob standoff, the rare softness in her eyes when she spoke of her dreams. He realized, with painful clarity, that he had contributed to her despair, had driven her away instead of offering help. The weight of guilt pressed upon him, and ate deeper than any physical blow. When Sonny arrived at GH to confirm the news, he found Chase waiting in the corridor. The detective's face was grave, respectful to men who understood the cost of survival. "I'm sorry, Sonny," Chase said quietly. "She left you a letter, though. Everything you need to know about Sidwell." Sonny nodded, refusing to speak. Instead, he accepted the folder of evidence as if it were a funeral wreath. He walked through the hospital corridors, past patients and doctors, until he reached a private viewing room where Natalia's body lay in repose. There he wept openly for the first time in years, mourning not just the loss of Natalia, but for the part he had played in extinguishing her light. But within Port Charles, grief often breeds conflict. Natalia's only son, Marco, arrived soon after, summoned by distressing news. On seeing his mother's still form, he collapsed to his knees, tears mixing with the palpable scent of flowers and polished wood. When he rose, eyes bloodshot and voice trembling, he fixed Sonny with a look of pure rage. "You did this," Marco spat, his fists clenched. "You drove her to this. And now you killed her all over again." His words cut through Sonny like a razor. In that moment, a vow was made: Marco would have his revenge. He didn't yet know how, but he knew the debt of blood had to be paid. News of Marco's accusation spread quickly. Friends tried to calm him. Dante, always the voice of reason, urged Marco to consider the truth. Natalia chose this path. Yet in Marco's mind, Sonny's cruel act of exile loomed larger than any nuance. He began gathering support among those disillusioned by Sonny's leadership, promising to hold the Corinthos boss accountable. Whispers of a power shift rippled through Port Charles's underground. Enemies of Sonny sensed weakness in the family's grief and readied their own moves to capitalize on the turmoil. In the months to come, the death of Natalia and the fall of Sidwell will leave an indelible mark on Port Charles. Sidwell's trial will expose decades of corruption linking him to traffickers, crooked politicians, and even some respected business figures. Sonny, shaken to his core, will grapple with his own responsibility and strive to atone, perhaps by protecting Marco from the lure of vengeance or by dedicating resources to help others like Natalia who live on the margins of society. Marco, torn between grief and a thirst for retribution, will face difficult choices. Will he become the monster that ruined his mother's life, or will he break the cycle of violence that claimed her? As for Detective Chase, the case will stand as one of his finest achievements, yet one of his heaviest burdens. He will carry Natalia's letter always, a reminder of the fragile line between justice and desperation. Port Charles stands at a crossroads. The echoes of Natalia's final sacrifice resonate in every corner, from the dingy hotel room where she died, to the opulent safe houses where Sidwell once plotted, to the hallowed halls of General Hospital where lives are saved and lost. The reckoning has come, but the aftermath will define the future of this city and every soul within it. Next, we will dive deep into the heart-wrenching drama surrounding Willow Tate and her ongoing struggle to reclaim her life after losing custody of her beloved children. This emotional roller coaster has kept fans on the edge of their seats, and recent developments hint at even more intense moments ahead. As Willow's world continues to crumble, new challenges emerge, and shocking discoveries threaten to unravel fragile family ties. Let's explore the intricate layers of this storyline, from Willow's spiraling despair to Michael Corinthos' alarming revelation, while adding fresh perspectives and imaginative twists to the evolving saga at General Hospital. Willow Tate's desperate descent. Willow Tate, once a beacon of strength and compassion as a dedicated nurse, now finds herself trapped in a downward spiral of anguish and desperation. The devastating court ruling that stripped her of custody of her two children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, has left her reeling in a sea of heartbreak. Each day without her little ones feels like an eternity, and the void in her heart grows deeper with every passing moment. Fans have witnessed Willow's transformation from a nurturing mother to a shell of her former self, haunted by the echoes of laughter and bedtime stories that once filled her home. Her pain is palpable as she wanders through Port Charles, her eyes reflecting a mix of numbness and raw emotion. In a poignant flashback scene we imagine, Willow sits alone in her dimly lit apartment, clutching a small stuffed animal that once belonged to Wiley. The toy, worn from countless cuddles, becomes a symbol of all she has lost. She whispers to it as if her son could hear, promising to fight until her last breath to bring her family back together. This invented moment underscores the depth of Willow's maternal bond and her unyielding resolve, even as her mental stability hangs by a thread. Could this desperation push her to cross lines she never thought possible? The stakes are higher than ever as she grapples with the unbearable reality of a life without her children, the shocking custody battle, and hidden corruption. The courtroom drama that handed full custody to Michael Corinthos was a blow that no one saw coming, at least not in its entirety. While the judge's ruling appeared final, whispers of foul play lingered beneath the surface. And beknownst to the residents of Port Charles, a dark secret taints the decision. The judge was bribed, a scandalous detail yet to be uncovered. This hidden corruption adds a sinister layer to the already tense situation, and when the truth eventually comes to light, it could shatter the fragile balance of power in this custody war. For now, Michael holds all the cards, legally entrusted with the sole care of Wiley and Amelia, while Willow is left to pick up the pieces of her shattered dreams. Picture a clandestine meeting in a shadowy corner of the city, where an envelope filled with cash changes hands under the table. This imagined scenario paints a vivid picture of the lengths to which some might go to manipulate the system. As viewers, we can only speculate on who orchestrated this bribe, perhaps a powerful figure with a vested interest in keeping Willow away from her children. The revelation of this betrayal will undoubtedly spark outrage and ignite a fierce battle for justice when it surfaces. Until then, Willow remains in the dark, and aware that her loss was not entirely based on merit but on greed and deception. A marriage proposal amidst turmoil. In a surprising turn of events, Drew Kane steps into Willow's life as a potential lifeline, offering a solution that catches her off guard. His proposal of marriage comes not from a place of romance but from a calculated strategy to strengthen her position in the custody battle. Initially, Willow balks at the idea, unable to see how tying the knot with Drew could possibly mend her broken family. Her skepticism is understandable. After all, her heart is already burdened with grief, and the thought of a marriage of convenience feels like a hollow gesture. Yet, Drew refuses to give up, enlisting the sharp legal mind of Martin Gray to build a compelling case for why this union could sway opinions in her favor. Imagine a tense late-night conversation at a quiet diner on the outskirts of Port Charles, where Martin lays out a detailed plan. He argues that a stable, united front with Drew could paint Willow as a reformed and responsible figure in the eyes of the court. This fabricated scene highlights Martin's persuasive charm and Drew's unwavering commitment to helping Willow, even if their bond lacks romantic sparks. Eventually, Willow agrees to the marriage, albeit with a heavy heart, clinging to the faint hope that this unconventional path might lead her back to Wiley and Amelia. But will this decision prove to be her salvation or her undoing? Michael's stern warning and Willow's defiance. The road ahead grows even thornier as Michael Corinthos issues a chilling ultimatum to his ex-wife. With steely determination, he warns Willow that marrying Drew will sever any chance of her ever seeing their children again. His words cut deep, echoing through Willow's mind like a relentless storm. For a fleeting moment, she stands her ground, her defiance fueled by the flickering flame of hope that refuses to be extinguished. This act of bravery showcases her inner strength, even as doubt begins to creep in. Could Michael's threat be more than just words? The fear of losing her children forever gnaws at her already fragile psyche, pushing her closer to the edge of desperation. In an invented confrontation at the park, we see Willow and Michael locked in a heated exchange, their voices low to avoid drawing attention but brimming with unspoken pain. Bystanders might mistake them for a couple hashing out a minor disagreement, but the weight of their words carries the gravity of a life-altering decision. Willow's eyes flash with a mix of anger and sorrow as she accuses Michael of using their children as pawns in his vendetta against her. This added detail emphasizes the emotional complexity of their dynamic, revealing the scars of a once loving relationship now fractured beyond repair. As Willow walks away, her resolve wavers. Will she heed Michael's warning, or will her longing for her children drive her to defy him at all costs? A dangerous impulse at the pool. The tension reaches a boiling point with a recurring theme at the local pool, a place that should evoke memories of carefree summer days but instead becomes a battleground for Willow's emotions. Last week, fans held their breath as Willow nearly approached Wiley to return a forgotten item, only to be intercepted and warned against contact. The incident, though minor, hinted at the dangerous impulses bubbling beneath her calm exterior. With more pool scenes teased in upcoming episodes, the possibility looms that Willow might once again succumb to her maternal instincts, risking everything for a fleeting moment with her son. Envision a sun-drenched afternoon at the pool, where Willow lingers on the sidelines, hidden behind oversized sunglasses and a wide-brimmed hat. Her heart aches as she watches Wiley splash and giggle, every joyful sound piercing her soul. When a small toy slips from his grasp and rolls toward her, time seems to slow. Her fingers twitch with the urge to pick it up and hand it back, to see his little face light up with recognition. This imagined detail amplifies the internal conflict tearing Willow apart, her love for her child warring with the legal boundaries that bind her. If she acts on this impulse, the consequences could be catastrophic, setting the stage for Michael's disturbing discovery. Speculation runs rampant about what Michael uncovers on Thursday, July 3, 2025, and the pool seems a likely setting for this bombshell. Picture this: Michael briefly steps away to grab a forgotten item from his car, leaving Wiley under the watchful eye of a family friend. Upon his return, his blood runs cold as he spots Willow crouched beside Wiley, her hand gently brushing his hair as she murmurs words of comfort. The sight of his ex-wife so close to their son, defying every court order, sends a jolt of fury and fear through him. Wiley, innocent and unaware of the legal storm surrounding him, clings to his mother, his small arms wrapped around her in a heartbreaking embrace. This moment, though imagined, captures the raw emotion of a child caught between two loving parents. Michael faces an impossible choice. How does he separate them without traumatizing Wiley? Approaching with caution, he might call out softly at first, hoping Willow will step back willingly. But if her desperation overrides reason, a physical intervention could become unavoidable, leaving lasting scars on Wiley's young heart. The fallout from this encounter could redefine their family dynamic, pushing Michael to tighten his grip on custody even further, while Willow's actions paint her as reckless in the eyes of the law. The ripple effects of this discovery will undoubtedly reverberate through Port Charles, leaving fans eager for the next chapter. The road ahead for Willow and her family. As the layers of this gripping storyline unfold, Willow Tate stands at a crossroads, her every decision fraught with peril and possibility. Her love for Wiley and Amelia drives her to the brink, while Michael's protective stance and the hidden corruption behind the custody ruling threaten to keep her at bay indefinitely. Drew's proposal and Martin's legal maneuvering offer a glimmer of hope, yet the specter of Michael's warning looms large. With each new episode, the tension builds, promising more twists, heart-wrenching confrontations, and unexpected revelations.